Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday, May 10th, 2022 regular meeting and public hearing. Can I have a motion to come out of executive session? Thank you, Virginia. Could I have a second? Thank you, Matt. All in favor? Motion taken. Please rise for the pledge. Alec, could you please lead us in the pledge? Yes, you. Okay, so we are now going to conduct a public hearing on the 2022-2023 adopted budget. I therefore declare this hearing open at 7:12 p.m. If there are no objections from my fellow board members, I would offer the floor to Dr. Tornatore and Faith Caligoni, who will deliver a brief presentation on the budget that will go before voters for approval or disapproval on May 17th.
Thank you, Ms. Downs. I do want to share as well that all of the information is on our website. We have the three-part budget, the line-by-line budget. We also have a recording of our last Zoom budget presentation available as well for any community members to review. And at this point, we are going to review the information that we have been sharing at the past several board meetings and answer any questions from the public.
Thank you, Dr. Tornatore. Thank you, Board of Education. So tonight this is the budget hearing for the 2022-2023 proposed budget. We'll go over what is in our budget. We began our budget procedures this year with rolling over all the existing programs and staffing that we had in the current year, 2021-2022. And we used our base budget to build upon and add to additional programs and improve upon our current program. In the 22-23 budget, we have the staffing and supplies for a 9-period day at the high school and middle school. We're adding 8 additional classrooms at the high school by relocating administrative offices. We're funding for the alternative high school, creating maker spaces throughout the buildings, increases in technology infrastructure and security. We have a security project that will allow for software upgrades, access control at our middle school and high school, and various other technological infrastructure improvements that will upgrade our security. Funding to enhance athletic, fine arts, and music programs, charter school funding, and we're going to meet the transportation needs of our district. This is a listing of the elective courses that will be added to our middle school and high school for the following year. Various courses over all different areas: art and business, English, ENL, health, music, math, science, social studies, technology, world languages, and additional support. Throughout the budget development, myself, Dr. Tornatore, administration has all worked very closely with district administration and all the stakeholders, the Board of Education, to try to put together the best budget that we could, while keeping taxpayer needs and student needs both at the forefront. In our budget is going to be a transfer to capital. This will be a technology security capital project. The amount will be $1.5 million, which will allow for us to increase which will allow for a security technology upgrade. We will upgrade at the secondary buildings first, and then hopefully in future years upgrade at the primary buildings. We will have increased security in the parking areas, outdoor athletic fields, Door access, door monitoring will first be implemented in the secondary schools. Software upgrades will be performed district-wide to our camera systems. We will be working closely with the architects and our security department to make sure that we create the most efficient, best system in security that we can. And also by putting this in a transfer to capital through our budget line, we will be able to apply to SED for state aid to allow for future return on any monies that we spend on this project. Our proposed 22-23 expenditure budget is a 6.49 overall increase. As you can see here, we have it broken down by general support, instruction, transportation, and undistributed, which includes items like benefits, debt service, interfund transfers. The budget-to-budget dollar increase is $10,342,683. And as you'll see, the major increases within the instruction codes. We have a 6.99% increase to our instruction codes. This is the expenditure budget just presented in a different format. This is what we call the three-part summary, a three-part budget. This is also available on our website. What this does is it takes certain components, administration, program, capital, and we then take all benefits related to those programs and allocate them accordingly. So this in this demonstration here for the three-part budget, you won't see a separate line item for benefits, but it is attached to whether it's for administrative, program, or capital. Administration is generally district office, facilities and grounds, technology. Program is anything that's directly related to students. With our 2000 codes, it would be regular day school, special education, any program that is within the buildings. And capital is our in capital would be our facilities programs as well as our transfer to debt service. So as you'll see, this is also a 6.49 increase. The totals are the same as far as dollar change, and our proposed budget is $169,750,296. Our revenue budget, our property tax levy is at 1% increase. And as you'll see, we go through our various other revenues, state aid, 16% increase. The use of reserves and appropriated fund balance is approximately a $1.5 million increase. This is directly related to the security project that we have added to the budget. And then we have various other increases in revenues, pilots, slight increase, reimbursements and refunds, interest and donations has remained the same, and other aids went up slightly. We have a slight decrease in intermunicipal agreements just based on what we expect to receive next year as revenue. Our 5-year tax levy history, as you can see, for the prior 2 years, we had a 0% increase, and for the 22-23 school year, we are proposing a 1% increase in the tax levy. This next slide came about after Dr. Tornatore and I were doing community presentations over the last 2 weeks. We were asked what would a 1% tax levy increase look like to a homeowner. So I did 3 different scenarios here based on property full value. This is full value is actually, if you were to look at your tax bill, you would see a dollar amount that says you have full value and assessed value. It's supposed to represent market value or very close to it. So if you had a $400,000 house with a full value, at full value, your tax increase for the year would go up approximately $62, which would be $4.62 a month. If you had a home with a full value of $600,000, your property taxes would go up approximately $93 a year, or $6.93 a month. And if you had a home with a full value of $800,000, your property taxes would go up approximately $123.95 for the year, or $9.23 per month. This analysis is comparing to the 21-22 school district tax rate within the Riverhead Township, and it's also using equalization rates as they are right now. So these numbers are estimates, but they reflect, based on the information we have now, this would be what a 1% tax levy increase would look like for a homeowner. Now we're just going to review the propositions that will be on the ballot on next Tuesday. The first proposition will be on the actual budget vote. We will be asking for the voters to approve $169,750,296 as the proposed during the 22-23 school year and levy the tax thereof. The next proposition is the Cafeteria Capital Reserve Fund. We will be asking the voters to approve the use of $56,000 from the Cafeteria Capital Reserve Fund, which was established on May 15, 2018, for the purpose of installation of a walk-in refrigerator at Phillips Avenue, 2 warming cabinets at the high school, and 2 milk chests at Riley Avenue. This proposition has no tax levy impact on the taxpayer. This is funds that are already within the school district. We are required by law to have voter approval to be able to use these funds. Is there any questions?
If the board has any questions or any comments?
Okay.
Wait, I just would like to hope that our friends in the press will make sure that it's noted it's a 1% tax levy. Even though our budget is going up 6%, the tax levy is only a 1% increase.
Anybody else?
Well, two things. Faith, could you explain, with the under revenue, with our state aid, some people will make comments or, might not understand that we'll be guaranteed the same aid or more next year, even if our enrollment went down. Could you elaborate more about state aid and the funding?
Sure. So our state aid, the majority of our state aid increase this year was based on foundation aid, which is a formula that has been in place for many years, but has never been has never been used fully, and the state now is starting to make it used fully, and foundation aid carries over from year to year. So this is money that, yes, this is part of basically our baseline state aid, our foundation aid. So generally foundation aid just gets added to every year. So this isn't similar. The state aid that we have in our budget here, every year it does fluctuate a little bit, because once our foundation aid has been made whole, which is, I believe, supposed to be next year, after that, each year could fluctuate a little bit on it when you do have expense-driven aids, but generally they're nothing material, and they would, if they go line in line with your expenses, they would go, if your expenses went up, your aid would go up. But the increase we're looking at here is to our foundation aid, and will be realized each year going forward, and continue to increase if the state does what they say and continues to make us whole with the foundation aid.
Okay, thank you. And also, and it's online, I know you don't have it in this presentation, but in the 3-part summary, the percentage of what we're spending on administration, the program, and the capital, and especially administrative costs, we've kept them. I know that was something that we, as a board, wanted to make sure that administrative costs to the total was low, and it's actually lower than it was last year, so at like 7.3% to run a district our size.
Oh, yeah.
And it's online. It's just not here in this.
Yes, I don't have those numbers here, and you'll see too also if you go looking at the presentation. I'll just go back a little bit here.
Any other board members? Not seeing any. The Board of Education and myself would like to invite anybody in the public that's here to come up to the podium and ask any questions pertaining to the hearing. Not seeing anybody. Ms. Lisa, do we have anything online?
Yes, there was one comment sent in by Monique Parsons from Bating Hollow. We had a 10% increase year over year in our budget last year. That came with a 0% increase to the taxpayers. The reasoning for that was because we got a large increase in foundational funding and some CARES Act monies. Why is the BOE suggesting another increase when we received such a large increase in funding last year, especially during a time where many people have not recovered from the financial distress of COVID? We also have serious issues within our district. Our BOE and lead administration has not been transparent in regards to fiscal management. Our previous superintendent of finance was demoted, position abolished, and just recently moved on to East Hampton School District, all while pending investigation. There are rumors floating around that he embezzled $9.1 million. And there is a current and active forensic investigation going on with district funds, something I asked for last year. Funny how these things came after I foiled our full line item budgets, both the previous year and current, with proposed full line items, and Mr. Schneider told me that they didn't exist. After his demotion, I asked our new business manager to get them to me with the same exact foil, and all of a sudden they existed. There was no need to add all those additional administrative positions last year. The BOE has not been active in cutting the fat from our budget in the best interest of our children. Anyone that says if you vote no for this budget, then you are hurting the kids is wrong. The BOE is hurting our taxpayers. The majority of this district's school-aged kids lives 4 times or more below the poverty lines, and you want to increase taxes on the same people that you are claiming to help. If this budget was truly for the kids, you would configure a budget from the top down, a budget that puts core education and elective programming and sports first, not administrative salaries.
Thank you. Is there any more questions?
No, that was it.
Any board members have anything more to say? So as a reminder to the public, please remember to vote on May 17th. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 4 voting locations. You will vote at the elementary school where a child living in your house would have gone to school. Seeing no one else wishes to participate, I hereby declare this hearing closed at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, we're going to move on now to opportunity for our board candidates. The candidates will speak in the order as their names will appear on the ballot for the May 17th school budget vote and election of board members. Each candidate will be limited to 3 minutes to speak in support of his or her candidacy. I ask that the board members that are up for re-election come down to the podium one at a time. Mr. Wallace, if you could come down first.
All right. Excuse me. All right. I am Matt Wallace, and I am running to be re-elected to the Riverhead School Board to continue to be voice of the students of Riverhead. I live in Riverhead School District since 1997, where I moved to Calverton with my wife. We have raised 4 children in the district, 2 of which who have graduated from Riverhead High School. 2 currently in Riverhead High School, a senior and a freshman. Other than also raising my family here in Riverhead, I also work in Riverhead for Northwell Health as a nurse. I am a volunteer firefighter EMT for the past 35 years. Also serve as currently a fire commissioner for the Wading River Fire District. I am proud of the school district I live in and my children have graduated from and currently attend. I am proud of the experiences the district offers the students academically, socially, sports, and after-school programs, and opportunities provided to the students and families. As a current board member, I am proud to say I have been part of the search for the superintendent and changes being made for the district. I look forward to the future opportunities for the students and staff. I hope to be able to continue working with committees that I have been involved in as a member on the school board, such as Facilities Committee, where we're working on a capital project with updating some of the bathrooms in some of the schools that are way outdated. Also, we are looking into upgrading the security systems within the district. I hope I can continue to address the overcrowding in the schools with some reorganization. Most importantly, I support the school budget. Approving the school budget will enable the district to offer programs and opportunities that are so important for all the students, allowing our district to get back to some sort of normalcy after COVID and the contingency budget. Remember to come out on May 17th, vote Wallace and Downs, and vote yes for the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Ms. Downs, if you would come down.
Hi, my name is Lori Downs. I'm the person that has kept promises. I said I was going to go after transparency, as transparent as the law allows, and I did. I got salaries put on the agenda. I got employee contracts on the website. I also made sure the budget archive was updated, and there's many more things I've done. I've also been advocating for 6 years for a new website. And starting July 1st, you will see a new updated and transparent website. These things didn't happen without a fight. They didn't happen overnight, but I got it done. More to be done, of course, and it will get done. Everything takes time. 3 years ago, I said I wanted to bring back the 9th period, and starting next school year, we got a 9th period. I've gone to IDA meetings, advocating for you, the taxpayer, getting their fair share. I went before the town board asking for our money that was many, many months late. While the public was thinking the school wasn't working with the town, I was on Zooms with others having conversations with the town. 6 years on the Health and Safety Committee, 6 years on the Policy and Intergovernmental Committee, Zoom meetings with our legislators, senator, and assemblywoman fighting for our aid. Our children have been through a lot these last few years. The district has gone through many twists and turns. It's time to calm down and get to what it's all about, education of the children. Will there be disagreements? Yeah. Will there be bumps along the road? Yeah. But mark my words, we will get it done. I have 16 years on the outside, out at this podium. I got 6 years on the board, and if that hasn't proved that I'm dedicated to this district and the children, then I don't know what to say other than vote for Downs and Wallace.
Thank you, Ms. Downs. Our third candidate, Andrew Nadeau, could not be with us today, but he did send a video with his information regarding his candidacy. His video does go over our 3-minute limit, so we will be shutting off that video at the 3-minute mark. He did ask that I let everyone know in the public that you can look up the rest of his video on YouTube. It is posted up there for anyone to view the whole video.
Good evening, folks. Andrew G. Nadeau here, candidate for Riverhead School District's Board of Education. A little bit about myself. I'm a proud husband and father of 3. Graduated Riverhead High in 07. Earned all division my senior year of lacrosse under Coach Tony Lawrence. Go Blue Waves. And shortly after graduating, I enlisted in the United States Navy and served as a hospital corpsman for over 12 years. I'm currently stationed in Annapolis, Maryland right now, awaiting discharge for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. I worked at the United States Naval Academy as a mid-level provider. If you're familiar with Navy personnel, I was an independent duty corpsman. During this declared health emergency, we call it COVID-19, the Academy's 4,500 students became unwilling participants in the largest medical experiment in human history. The least vulnerable among us were forcibly masked, forced to share their private medical information, forcibly isolated, forced to be tested with emergency use of authorization products, and forcibly injected with emergency use of authorization gene therapy, because that's what it is. It's a gene therapy. These mandates continue to be proven ineffective and in many cases very harmful. I saw thousands of students test positive for COVID. A great deal of them were asymptomatic. And then we all injected them with the Moderna vaccine, aside from a handful of refusers. To this day, students who had no previous medical ailments before the injection are dealing with long-term side effects from these gene therapies. New York State mandated many of these same policies onto your children in Riverhead. Ochel wants to vaccinate your children for COVID, and she wants to mandate it for enrollment. This is all on the record. The system that delivered such a grotesque level of expensive and dystopian nonsense to our children over these past 2 years does not deserve an increase in funding from the hardworking citizens it abuses. Our newly emboldened public health education authoritarians in the schools found no issues enforcing arbitrary health regulations onto the masses. The global initiative to implement a new normal has not left Riverhead immune to its influence. After 2 years of forced masking and testing and countless invasions of personal privacy and protected medical information and shoddy medical advice, the school district sought to normalize this reactionary and unscientific behavior without ever pursuing any form of resistance to these unconstitutional edicts. The school district decided to participate in a New York State-ran contest celebrating the muzzling of our students with their own self-portraits. This is nothing short of disgusting. The time for action is now. We must decentralize the schools. The town of Riverhead and her people should have 100% control.
Okay, Mr. Nadeau's 3 minutes was up, so we did shut that video off. His full video can be found on YouTube.
Thank you. Well, good luck, everybody. We're going to move on to D, public comments on agenda items. Does anyone in the public have a question on the agenda? Ms. Lisa, is there anything? Not seeing any. We're going to go over to the superintendent's report. What? No. There is somebody?
I'll ask later. It's okay.
All right. Go ahead.
What's that?
Thank you, Ms. Downs. So first, I would like to recognize in May that we have Haitian Heritage Month, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Jewish American Heritage Month, and Military Appreciation Month. So we did want to recognize all of those groups for the month of May. I did also want to share with the public and with the board that we do have our summer offerings online. They are available for review. We are once again partnering with Scope to provide a tremendous amount of activities in the summer for our students. And we are very excited that this summer we will also be launching our partnership with Camp Invention to offer more STEM activities for our younger students. So if you haven't had the opportunity, please take a look at that availability online. I also wanted to share out that right next to the district office, we now have the marker recognizing Satchel Paige, who was pitching at the stadium that was on the former area where the district office and our athletic fields are. So we do have that. So if anybody has not had the opportunity, I would say if you could take a stroll down Osborne Avenue, just south of the district office, we have the marker set up there. I also want to thank all of those residents who have donated over the course of this year. There have been a tremendous amount of donations that the district has received and that the board has accepted. And I wanted to take a moment to thank all of those people who have generously offered donations for our students. I also want to share that I had the pleasure last night of attending the Riverhead Middle School spring concert over at the high school with Miss Downs. The kids did a great job, and after 2 years of being in the pandemic, they were really on the mark. The orchestra, band, and chorus were absolutely amazing. Last week, I had the pleasure of attending the Riley Avenue Elementary School fourth grade chorus. And I have to say, it was a lot of fun. They really chose a wide variety of songs, so it was really a pleasure to be a part of that. Dr. Kerner, Ms. Caglione, and I were able to stop by at Pulaski for the Adventures of a Comic Book Artist presentation, which was a great play for the students. Unfortunately, we did have to leave a bit early because we did have to head over to the middle school because we were giving the budget presentation. And I do want to thank those residents who came out that evening and asked a lot of great questions. I also want to share that in the middle school, we had the presentation of Ryan's story, which explains about anti-bullying. So there were presentations during the day for students, and there was also an evening presentation for parents and guardians last night. So I want to thank Dr. Hudson for all of his work with putting that together. I also want to recognize our transportation department because we've received information from the governor's office that our operators received the passing rate of 100%. So we do have that information as well. I did share that with the board. So I do want to thank our transportation department for all the hard work that they put in. And once again, just want to remind any residents that if you have any questions regarding the budget, please reach out to me through either phone, email. If you'd like to make an appointment to come in and I can sit down and answer any other questions, I am available.
Thank you, Dr. Tornatore. We're going to move on to consent agenda. Could I have a motion, please? Thank you, Colin. Could I have a second? Thank you, Matt. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Going to move on to new business. Appointment of vote workers for the special district meeting. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Matt. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Virginia. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of memorandums of agreement. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Colin. Can I have a second? Thank you, Brian. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of contract. Can I have a motion, please? Thank you, Brian. Could I have a second? Thank you, Virginia. Any questions?
No.
All in favor? Motion passes. Letter D, renewal of contract. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Matt. Can I have a second? Thank you, Brian. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Letter E, approval of EBLAR. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Brian. Can I have a second? Thank you, Colin. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Approval of disposal of surplus equipment. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Matt. Second? Thank you, Chris. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Donations. Approval of donations. This is 130 library instructional guides from New York State Community Schools Technical Assistance Center. And I believe these are what, Dr. Tornatore, can you explain what these books are?
Sure. So through Fordham University, we've been able to receive the social and emotional learning books. They do come in English and in Spanish. So we received this generous donation with also guides from the university, and we are dispersing them equitably amongst our 4 elementary schools and our Pulaski Intermediate School as well.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, please? Motion. Thank you, Colin. Can I have a second? Thank you, Brian. Any questions, cares, or concerns? Not seeing any. All in favor? Motion passes. Move on to opportunity for board members. Do we have any reports?
Yes, I have the Audit Committee report.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Thanks, Virginia.
We met April 12th. Present was Christopher Dorr, myself, Matthew Wallace, Dr. Tornatore, Faith Caglianone. And I should know this, I'm Italian, Caglianone, sorry. I'm going to get the Polish last name, though. Ken Zabrowski and Robert Hines. The Audit Committee convened at 5:30 at the high school. The purpose of the meeting was to review the annual risk assessment. Mr. Zabrowski joined the meeting via Zoom from his office in Castleton, New York. Mr. Zabrowski reviewed the 2021-2022 annual risk assessment. He noted that the purpose of the risk assessment is to show levels of risk for certain areas. He reviewed in detail the various sections of his report. He noted, for example, accounts payable went from low risk in the previous year to moderate risk for 2021-2022. Employee retiree benefits went from low risk to moderate risk. Loss of records increased that risk. Use of facilities, specifically billing and insurance certificates, risk level continues to be moderate high. Information systems went from moderate risk to high risk due to the cyber attack. Budgeting went from moderate high to moderate, noting the increase in federal and state aid. Claims auditing went from low risk in 2020-21 to low moderate in the same 21-22. Dr. Tornatore noted that the IT systems have since been converted to Google. A discussion of the cyber breach took place. Prior year comments were reviewed. Current year issues were identified. Mr. Zabrowski will look into the insurance requirements and how we can allow more booster clubs to have access to the district's food truck. District will work with NYSER to ensure insurance requirements are met. After some discussion, the committee members directed Mr. Zabrowski to conduct the 2021-2022 internal audit in the area of transportation.
Any more committee? Not seeing any board member remarks or comments? Board have anything to say? Okay, we're going to go to public comments. Ms. Lisa, do you have a comment for public? I'm sorry. Opportunity for the CFA? Or CFA. I'm dyslexic tonight.
You got it after the second time,
I
right?
got it.
Gregory Wallace, RCFA President. We would like to welcome Courtney Bevis as a new employee here at Riverhead, and would also like to congratulate Katie Pettit on her retirement. May 17th is the budget vote. We're really hoping the community will come out and support the budget. A lot of us lived through a contingency budget, which was very difficult for our students. and our staff, and we're just hoping that our community can support this budget and vote yes on May 17th. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Okay, there's one comment sent in again from your Monique Parsons from Bating Hollow, excuse me. With BOE elections just a short week away, I would like to remind everyone that Ms. Downs voted to keep our kids in masks, going completely against the science. Even though I showed our board that science in the form of over 100 peer-reviewed articles that showcase zero efficiency, and that masks were actually harmful to wear. She attended a BOE meeting after that vote in late summer. At this meeting, I had to instruct her to put her mask on correctly since she was the one that voted for the mask mandate in schools. It seems to be rules for thee, but not for me. During the same meeting, another community member asked each BOE member what they would do if something like vaccines were spoken about. How did each member feel about mandating vaccines for our children, some just a mere 5 years old? Mr. Wallace answered that he thought all school children should be vaccinated, even though there are no long-term studies. He would like to force your kids to get vaccinated in order to attend a school that you pay for through your taxes. This BOE has the power to vote to keep parental choice, but they didn't do it last year. Instead, they chose the route of silencing parents and their right to choose what was best for their children. Instead of putting kids first, they put their own ideologies and beliefs before others. If you want a choice in your children's education, vote for Andrew.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa. Dr. Tornatore, you had something that you wanted to add?
Thank you, Ms. Downs. I would like to, first of all, thank the board for approving the hiring of Mr. John Rochester. He's here in the back. And we want to welcome you to the Riverhead Blue Waves family. He has an extensive resume, and he will be serving as our new assistant principal at the high school. So congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, anything else before we adjourn? Oh,
How are you? I wasn't painting. Jeremy Rand over on Anchor Street in Flanders. Just came from the color run at Phillips Avenue, and it was absolutely one of the best times of my life. 200 kids throwing paint all over the place. They had the greatest of time. The staff was absolutely amazing. The teachers came out in such a support. It was really beautiful. It was really a good example of what Riverhead actually is. All colors were there. Mrs. Rogers was welcomed with open arms. We said goodbye to her. It was kind of like a party for her in a way. We said goodbye to her. The staff was amazing, custodians, the security. Mr. Crump was there. He came and everybody high-fived Mr. Crump. Mr. Charlie got decorated, and I brought you a shirt, Doctor. This is for you. Mrs. Rogers wants you to be there this fall. We brought this for you, the PTO. All right, you're welcome to come. And just to... I just want to say, man, it was a really beautiful example of what Riverhead does, and we need this budget. We need to vote yes. What happened last year with COVID, that has nothing to do with this board. You want to talk about COVID? The governor is responsible. These people had to do what they had to do. It wasn't their fault. Trust me, I've been through it. But I think we're doing a great job, because what I saw at Phillips Avenue was just a great staff and just great people. And it made me think, I'm like, you know what? We got great people right up here, and you're trying to do the great thing for this school. We got knocked down. You know what? But what the heck are we going to do? We're going to stay down? No, we're going to get back up, and we're going to rise up, and, we're going to make the best of it. And we're going to be the best school district there is. Because I really feel, honestly, I've been here long enough. I've been seeing what's going on. I've been talking to people. And yeah, we got knocked down. That happens. I get knocked down. I cut myself at work every day. I bleed. I hurt. But hey, man, what are you going to do? There's brighter days ahead. We need to vote on yes. We need yes. We need to speak to people. We need people to come out and understand that we are a great community, and we just need a chance. Just this chance. Put everything aside. You know, we're past that. All this COVID crap, all this other stuff. We got to look forward. We have to look forward to the future. There's a lot of school districts out there that do not have the funding or the staff that we have. We're very fortunate here. We are. We have a big school district. There's so much to do for all these kids, so many opportunities, and it's really great. Not everybody has these opportunities, and let's keep them going. Dr. Torratore, we got a month left. Mr. Crump, we need that man back. I can't tell you, it was like a celebrity showed up there today. He was different colors. I mean, I know he's a big guy, but he was purple, green, yellow, and he loved it. He wasn't going to miss it. We were both tired after work, but he sends his love, and he really would like to come back to Phillips Avenue. He says his knees are hurting him a little bit. He was tired today, but he's a hard-working man, and we really would like to have him back. And thank you for everybody, what you guys are doing, and let's vote yes, please. You in the press, we need you too, man. We need you on our side. Let's go. God bless you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night. With that, anyone else in the audience have anything else?
Hi, Greg Fisher from Calverton.
Hello,
Two children
Mr. Fisher.
in the high school. Thank you. Good to see you again. Something really great happened in the last couple of months, which didn't get any press yet, so you guys do something. We had a financial competition, which was the kids getting a portfolio, financial portfolio, and in a very, very down stock market, they got to, in real time, with real stock information in the background, trade stocks. So some of these kids did amazing. So in a down stock market, my son put together a portfolio that had like the equivalent of a 400% per year return, right? So I want to bring up an issue about treating financial competitions no different than STEM competitions, and maybe even more. The truth is, if we have the best of the best in STEM, a lot of these kids have to move away because we don't necessarily have the industrial infrastructure or engineering infrastructure to get them all jobs. But when you have people that are skilled in finance, in any kind of financial instrument, and actually we do have a lot of traders in Riverhead Town and people trading Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in Riverhead Town, making tons of money, and potentially keeping this in the economy locally. So this is an opportunity for programs that will enhance the economy of Riverhead and have persistence. People don't move away if they're able to make money in their house. They don't move away if they could start a small firm in town in financial instruments and trading. So this is a great opportunity, and I'm hoping we'll do more of it and capitalize on it and promote it, because it generates, I mean, you've read things and you've seen stories about how much money some people are generating when they're skilled at this. So thank you for the time, and it was a great program. Of course, Mr. Wallace and his math in the background helps these programs out tremendously, even though he did not teach that particular program. So the synergy of some of these things coming together to produce great benefits and great opportunity for Riverhead Town and for kids ongoingly here, you know, we could play that up a lot more. But thank you for your time, and looking forward to doing more of that.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Hello, Denise Rohde of Bating Hollow. I have a son in first grade. I would just like to say I disagree with the gentleman who spoke earlier. I do think that it's the responsibility of all of us to let our government know how we feel and what we want. That's what government is for. They represent us. So as I recall, Mrs. Downs basically said, it's not up to me, it's up to the government, write to your government officials. Writing to the government officials is helpful, but it's each and every one of us responsibility to stand up and say what we think is right, not to just stand down and let the government decide. And again, Mr. Wallace, I remember that you did want vaccines for all mandated. And when Mr. Doerr actually stood up and said, why don't we have the board write a letter to the government and say, we want parental choice for masks and vaccines, the rest of the board said, we don't want to. So I would agree that Andrew Nadeau is the candidate to vote for if you like parental choice.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? Not seeing any. Could I have a motion to adjourn? What? Go ahead.
I just want to make a correction. When the question was asked about vaccines, whether the state brings down a mandate, what are we going to do? I said if they're going to be mandated, then they're going to be mandated. Not that I'm looking for them to be mandated, so everybody is misspeaking. If a mandate is a mandate, I didn't say I'm forcing the mandate or looking for them to be mandated. I said if the state brings down a mandate, we have to follow that. That is the correction. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Second. Colin. Any questions? Not seeing any. All in favor? Adjourn. Have a good night, everyone. Be careful going home.
Thanks for nothing.
Please help support the Riverhead Central School District YouTube channel by subscribing. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, please be sure to push that subscribe button and click the bell to receive notifications. Thank you.